Back to open phones momentarily. I've had this gentleman on with me numerous times during the afternoon show. He was the 2018 lieutenant gubernatorial candidate alongside the late Oz Griebel, running here in Connecticut. He has since carried on, taking the mantle of a major issue here that Governor Lamont says he is behind. That the General Assembly is talking about right now, the theory of bringing ranked choice voting to Connecticut, which is being used in some cities and towns across the country and also in some states. Get an update on that. Monte Frank is with us. Monte, good morning. It's Paul again. How are you?
I'm doing well, Paul. How are you?
I'm good. We haven't spoken in a while. So where does this stand now? I know the governor came out before the election, and he got the endorsement of your party, Griebel Frank for Connecticut. He got that party line endorsement because he said he was behind at least some implementation, perhaps as an experiment for ranked choice voting. Where does that stand now?
The governor has been a great partner in this effort to improve our democracy. The governor spoke about ranked choice voting and the value of it in his inaugural address. And then he submitted a written testimony to GAE, the General Assembly, the Government Administrative Elections Committee, earlier this week, supporting ranked choice voting. So, you know, the governor is pressing forward with ranked choice voting as our partner because he, like so many people across the state, believe that ranked choice voting will improve the way we do business in Hartford and municipalities and ultimately, hopefully, in Congress.
Monte, the theory of ranked choice voting, for those of us who do talk about it a lot and understand it, essentially provides for an instant runoff, not having to wait 2 or 3 weeks or months. But can you explain to this audience who may not be in tune with that as a specific issue, the general theory behind ranked choice voting, and if it was implemented in their city or town here, Monte, how that would work?
Yeah, sure. It's pretty simple, and the experience that voters have had across the country has been incredibly favorable. It's been used in San Francisco, for example, for about 25 years, and it was successful in New York City in the Democratic primaries. But the way it works is that you go into the ballot box and you rank your choices, first, second, third, fourth, if there are 4 candidates running. If the candidate receives more than half of the first choices, a majority, that candidate wins, and there's no need for an instant runoff. But if no candidate receives a majority, then the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated, and the voters who pick that candidate as number one will have their votes count for their next choice. So it's number 2 pick. And so you go through that instant runoff. It's done by the tabulators until you have a candidate with a majority, not a plurality. And the reason why it's attractive to voters and it's produced such good results is that it promotes real competition and voter choice. It improves voter engagement and satisfaction. It encourages positive campaigning. You know, the candidate who just talks about how his opponents are terrible is not going to get a lot of second or third choices that are so necessary to build that consensus, to build that broad-based support that you want to have in your public official. And so that's why it's important. It really will do it'd be a big improvement to the way we elect our public officials, improve our democracy.
Yeah, Monte, you and I have talked about this, but finally, the point that you brought up, and I'm reading this from other parts of the country that do this, and they've seen the effect where basically ranked choice voting, for the people who like it, say, hey, it prevents candidates on either side of the aisle from being complete jerks and focusing only on a small cell of voters because they have to think, hey, I can get all of those, but I still might not win, so I've got to kind of be observant to the concerns of people who may not put me down as their first choice.
Yeah, or flip it another way. It forces candidates to go out and talk to voters about what they are for, what they will do to improve the lives of of the constituents that they would represent, instead of saying, that guy's terrible, you should never vote for him, but I stand for nothing. I'm just not that other person. Mm-hmm. And so it really does flip the analysis and forces candidates to be about what are the issues that are most important to the broadest constituency out there. And that's a real change in the way that we have done politics over the last 5, 10, 15 years, where we've been going down this rat hole of tribalism and ultra hyper partisanship.
Monte, if people want to get more educated on this, maybe they're a little suspect on this, they want to read up on it, where can they go? They
can go to ctvotersfirst.org, ctvotersfirst.org.
Mm-hmm.
It's an organization in Connecticut that is dedicated to proving our democracy through ranked choice voting.
All right.
It's a bipartisan group, just like Senate 389 bill is a bipartisan bill with Tony Huang and Kathy Austin. And I would urge people to write to folks who are in the General Assembly and ask them to support Senate Bill 389.
All right. Monte Frank, good to hear from you, my friend. We'll keep in touch. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Paul.